Welcome, FNews57 here. I'm back on my Xbox One, and I am playing some State of Decay 2. Today I will be dedicating this video to the Xbox Hall of Fame State of Decay 2 Zombie Slayer Challenge. It is in the last few hours of the challenge in terms of participation, but I decided to put this video up because I've run into a number of problems, a number of glitches, a number of bugs, and just to hopefully share some tips and tricks so anybody still running or attempting to run may be able to benefit from this, or just in case you do want to do a speed run later on, you can use these tips and tricks for yourself. So, moving on, what we have to do here is a speed run, and you can do it on any map. You can do it with a new community, or you can do it by refreshing the map, which will give you a little bit of an advantage. I'll talk about that in a second. But basically what we have to do is destroy all of the plague hearts as fast as possible. So I've done a lot of testing, and this contest is majorly flawed. I'll explain that in the end of the video. But it's just, yeah, this thing has stressed me out beyond belief and given me a migraine because I really wanted to win it, but there's a shitload of shit that is out of your control. So I've tested a multitude of weapons, a multitude of explosives. We have C4 here. I've tested grenade launchers like the BML. And there's only really two strategies that I've come up with that have yielded me the best time possible. One of those strategies is using the Spec Ops Vector SMG with an advanced brake on it. It's a 50 round magazine, 45 caliber rounds. It takes about 30-ish rounds depending on the range and if you're shooting through zombies in order to kill a plague heart. So if you want to use that gun, you either have to carry like another version of it, or you have to carry your entire inventory full of ammo and some ammo in your vehicle. That has worked out really well for me. I know a number of other people are using the same gun in their strategies, but it's not necessarily my favorite. I've also tried a couple different shotguns like the AA-12, the Clio Assault shotgun. I've tried even the Soviet PPSH-41, which also has a 50-round magazine, but it doesn't have the same power that the Spec Ops Vector has, and you can't put a brake on there, so that didn't yield as good of a time. But, yeah. I've tried the Timberwolf. I've tried grenades alone, pretty much all sorts of things that you can try. And I've settled on my favorite method is to use the B50FG and frag grenades. Now this run is definitely probably the loadout that will take the most in terms of farming, because you're going to need frag grenades, you're going to need 50 caliber ammo, which I actually have way more 50 caliber ammo than I need, and you are going to need scent block. So when you are all good and ready to go, let me just show you the vehicles before I do the run. I've tried two different vehicles, and these are what I believe to be the best. The vehicle I have my best time with is actually this one right here, the Viking. And then this is the Road Mangler, which is the upgraded Road Racer. This one I have my second best time. I know a lot of people are using this vehicle because it's the fastest vehicle in the game, but that's only when you're on the road. The moment you go off-roading with that thing, it flips, it spins out, it gets stuck on the smallest thing, and let's be honest, most of you know driving is not the best thing in State of Decay 2 in the first place. Also, trunk capacity on this vehicle is only 3 slots, which gives you barely enough ammo capacity to do the Vector run, and that's if you use a Red Talon operator, which we'll take a look at this. I would recommend highly using a Red Talon operator. If you have a Red Talon operator with the specific skill that gives you better fuel economy, that would be ideal. I don't, but the reason why you want one is because you have the warfighting trait, which gives you the decreased durability loss per shot, the reduced recoil, reduced sway, increased reload speed, dismemberment, aim snap, bullets pierce enemies. It's just ideal. and you get the Daybreak characters, or the red talent operators I should say. You get them by playing the game mode Daybreak, and then when you have 2,750 prestige, once you go into a regular game, you can call in a Daybreak character, a red talent operator or soldier. They have unique traits for both of them. You'll also notice, little pro tip here, you can have the driver's side door ripped off of your vehicle by parking next to a zombie, letting the zombie get on the door and then rip it off eventually. That will save you about 1.5 seconds per plague heart. So if you have 10 or 12 plague hearts, that can add up. You don't have to do it, but that's just something that I've run into and I've found is actually helping. But when you do that, before you do that, make sure that you have repaired the vehicle to the max and then have the door ripped off, because the door being ripped off is just a visual representation of damage, but it is not entirely accurate, so keep that in mind. Once you're ready, you have your character selected, you have your ammo, you have your grenades, whatever you're going to do. You want to go into difficulty, set map difficulty to standard along with all other difficulties to standard, and go ahead and confirm that. Now you could also do it by making a new community with legacy characters, and I did try that method. Unfortunately, using that method, the time starts the moment the map is selected, so depending on how quick you are when selecting your characters and how quick your Xbox is in loading in, you could easily have a minute or a little bit more on the timer by the time you even take control over your character. Plus, the default vehicle that's given to you won't have any gas in it, and it won't have any upgrades. As you can see, I'm using an upgraded vehicle. You don't need to. I just like it because it has better durability. There's also a huge RNG standpoint to this game because your vehicles can be in different parking spots. You can spawn in different sections. You want to look at the map, highlight a marker, and I recommend while you have that map screen open, either use your Xbox to take a screenshot or use your phone to take a screenshot, and then you can look at the map and determine how many plague hearts there are and what the best driving path is while you have the game paused. The timer is stopped while the game is paused. However, the pause is specific to bringing up this options menu, and you must be in solo. So if you check your settings under multiplayer before you ever start the map, they need to be where multiplayer is turned off. Otherwise, it won't count. Which brings me to the glitch I was talking about. I recorded a separate video. You have to do this on Xbox. You're not allowed to use the PC version of the game. You're not allowed to have friends join you for the run, and you're not allowed to use modded equipment, or so they say. However, through a lot of testing, I actually found out that their software is not registering all modded equipment and detecting it. So I did put in a bug report day one, and nobody has gotten back to me on that. I don't know how that's going to affect the challenge, and I did submit a bug report to Microsoft as well on that. Hopefully they double check the runs to make sure that modded equipment was not used. Anyways, what we want to do now is go ahead, and I'm just going to do this run. For better or worse, it may be a good time, it may not. A lot of your time is going to be in driving. For me, I would say probably 60 to 70% of my time is eaten up by driving. And as you can see, a lot of these sections off-roading is going to be the shortest distance between point A and point B, which is why I don't like the Road Racer or the Road Mangler, because those vehicles, while they are the fastest vehicles in the game, they are not very safe. They flip easily, they get stuck easily, but you're going to want to park. As you're getting out of the vehicle, pro tip, hit your scent block, regardless of what weapon you're using. And then we're going to engage that plague heart, toss the grenade, and I made a little minor fuck up there, so my bad on that one, because my weapon should have already been reloaded. But there's two strategies. As I said, this is not going to be my perfect run. The first strategy when using grenades is to go ahead and toss the grenade first. Then the grenade will explode about the time that you've fired your 5th shot. The other strategy is to fire your 5th shot and then toss the grenade, and this way you can already be reloading your weapon and walking out or running out of the building. Both of those are good strategies. The only problem is explosives are not registering accurately currently. So do bear that in mind, that the grenade may not actually get the kill. I've tested C4. My original plan was to use C4, but unfortunately C4 is not working correctly right now. Now you see I made a little minor mistake there where I meleeed and instead of, reloading. It's just the way the control scheme is on the game. And that's really what's going to affect your run, is all these little things, all these little couple seconds here, couple seconds there. You want to try and stay on as flat a ground as possible while going the shortest route. Do be careful of immovable objects. There's a ton of immovable objects in this game. And of course, a big part is knowing where the plague hearts are. Now remember, the plague hearts are not always in the same spots, and they are not always in the same spots inside even the same building. So there's a lot to keep in mind. Like okay, yeah, my run is screwed, because I actually just got stuck. That's a big major mistake right there on my part, because I did not remember exactly where this particular ditch was, so I had to wait for the I'm stuck command. Now sometimes that could benefit you. I've had a couple runs where the I'm stuck command actually put me closer to my destination, but it's not something that you can rely on. So I mentioned it already, I'm going to mention it again. Driving is what's going to eat up the majority of your time. I've done runs with the Vector, I've done runs with the Timberwolf, I've done runs with the Eternal Guard's Infinite Rage, multiple Eternal Guard's Infinite Rage. I've probably tried 20 different weapons and combinations of weapons / equipment to try and get what could possibly be the fastest time. Unfortunately, I have had no real luck. Another thing you see, I just made the mistake right there, is that's a window that you actually can't jump through. So bear that in mind. If you're coming to this building, you can't jump through those windows that have the little like rebar spikes sticking up on the bottom. Again, it's only costing me a few seconds, but those seconds are adding up. We're already at 4 minutes 39 seconds. Probably could have been about 4 minutes and I'd say 30 seconds if I didn't make those couple mistakes. Again, in situations like this, you kind of got to thread the needle, and you want to park where you can easily get out. If you're doing what I'm doing, where you're using the grenade, then you need to make sure that you are within a unobstructed range of actually tossing the grenade. So do keep that in mind. If you're going to reload and shoot, then you can just do it that way. There is an advantage to that. My original plan, and what would have been my fastest run, was actually using a method where I used the Timberwolf specifically and the C4. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, C4 is not working correctly. It pretty much always took 2 C4 to destroy a Plague Heart on standard difficulty. However, I've had up to 6 pieces of C4 used to destroy a single Plague Heart. I don't know what they changed about it. I don't know if it was intentional or not. I've also had frag grenades not register, so something's weird. I think it's something with their servers and just the number of people that are on attempting to do this. So just bear that in mind. You'll also notice I'm getting a little bit of lag and frame drop That's another downside to using the explosives, because sometimes you won't know exactly when the plague heart is dead. So here we have a situation that's going to cost me a little bit of time, and that's because of the guardrail right there. If I would have remembered the map perfectly, I would have gone around instead of trying to go down. Sometimes a straight line is not the best. And also, I'll show you, but we are marking the next plague heart that we need on the map while waiting for the engine of the truck to turn on. So here's a situation where that plague heart, whether it be because of lag or whatever, but that plague heart did not register damage from the frag grenade for some reason. So just bear that in mind. You might get some zombies stuck on your car. That's going to do damage. It's obviously not ideal, but you can't really spare too much of the time to shake them off. So don't worry about that too much. Also get ready to reapply your scent block. It should take 2 scent blocks for an entire run. So we're going to get to this point, stop the car, get out. As we get out, I apply the scent block. I'm going to throw the grenade there first. It is personal preference whether you want to throw the grenade first or throw the grenade last if you are using a grenade strategy. Now, for me, I kind of prefer throwing the grenade after I finish the 5 rounds. Here we've got a little bit of a problem with this fuel truck, or fuel train, I should say. Like I said, it's just, this is not my optimal run here. It's a tips and tricks video. I'm kind of out of sorts at the moment. We're doing pretty good, though. 8 minutes, 26 seconds. That's not bad, despite the issues that I'm having. As you can see, these little trees are a pain in the ass. They don't render in quite quickly enough, so you do have to slow down. You want to make sure that you're stopping the vehicle fully, or most of the way at least, before you get out, simply due to the fact that if you don't do that, what can happen is the vehicle can run you over, and then that'll cost you even more time. So the reason why I like throwing the grenade last is because if I throw the grenade last, then I can already start to reload my weapon and leave the building. By the time the grenade goes off, I'm usually out of the building. The bad thing with that method is if the explosive hit doesn't trigger, which since frag grenades bounce, C4 isn't working properly, you kind of have to bounce the grenade off the ground, and it definitely makes the run more difficult. Now for this particular house, a little trick is to go and park in the front, because there's 2 spots the plague cart can be. It can either be there in the garage, or it can be upstairs in like this kids room. So like there, I know this isn't going to be my fastest run. I waited a second just to see if that frag grenade was actually going to detonate. We're not doing bad. We're at 9 minutes and 59 seconds. So this will be a relatively quick run. Obviously, I know there's people out there with a faster than 10-minute time. I myself have a faster than 10-minute time. I have made several mistakes in driving. Probably all told, we could have had maybe 9.5 minutes on this run. This is my least favorite place to get a plague heart, in here in the fire station, because if you try to use a grenade, chances are you're going to get knocked down. So speedrun complete, 10 minutes, 32.2 seconds. Again, not my fastest time, but that is still a pretty decent time. That could have been about 9.5 minutes if I wouldn't have made the driving mistakes that I did. Anyways, just going over marking. When you press Y to get into the vehicle, you have a second until you hear that noise right there that you can actually open your map. So there you go. You heard the engine turn over. Until you hear that engine turn over, your vehicle will not move. So that gives you about a good 1 to 2 seconds to actually open the map and mark your next destination. That saves a lot of time. And then having the vehicle door, the driver's side door, ripped off, that saves you about a second every time you get in and out of the vehicle. I really hope that this video helped you guys out, even if maybe you just want to do speed runs in general. The plague hearts can be a really good source of weapons and resources. Also, if you wanted, when you were doing this particular challenge, you could go ahead and do the legendary weapon cases. That's how I got my Eternal Guard Infinite Rage. But yeah, that's how I've been doing the runs. You don't need as much 50 caliber ammo as I took with me. I just took extra, and you can really do it with any number of weapons. Even running the shotguns, I was still averaging somewhere around a 11-minute run time. Most all of my runs, regardless of which vehicle I took and which weapon I used, were around the 11-minute time frame. The map states that on standard difficulty you can get between 8 to 13 plague hearts. You can actually get up to 16 plague hearts. So just keep resetting the difficulty until you get a number of plague hearts you're comfortable with. The lowest I've had was 11. I've never seen 10, 9, or 8. So again, I said this challenge was unfair because of how they did it. There's so much RNG as to where your vehicle is, where your character spawns, where the plague hearts spawn, what part of the building the plague hearts are in, where the bloaters and juggernauts and ferals spawn. I've had those materialize on top of my vehicle. There's just been all sorts of issues with this. But then it's really broken because their software is not detecting all the modded equipment. So we'll see what happens with it. Let me know what you guys think. But I highly recommend you try to get the plague hearts all on one side of the map as possible. What kept happening to me is I would get like a plague heart up here, a plague heart around here, one around there, and then sometimes even one down near that survey point. And if you get a set of plague hearts like that, plus a couple there, plus a few in that area, and like a couple up there, really it's best to just go ahead and restart. Don't even try to do that because you're having to go up both sides of the map. Like you're having to travel the entire length of the map twice. Ideally, you're looking for a run that is kind of like a fish hook. My best run, I had one heart there, I think like right at that building, one heart there at the bridge. This bridge is unobstructed when you cross it. And then I had 3 hearts in a pattern like that. And then the rest of my hearts were all in this stretch with one up there. So basically I could go over, down, across, pick up those 3, cut through the lake, which is relatively flat ground, and then come up here, grab the couple that were staggered up there, and grab the couple that were up here. Now there is a very steep gorge right here, so when I grabbed the heart that was like in that building roughly, you have to come back down to the road, and then you want to cross on the road. It's the safest point to cross on that bridge, and then you can go up and grab that one if you get a spawn like that. But it's really, really situational, really RNG dependent, and I would say out of, oh good God, at this point probably 60 attempts, I've only seen a good plague heart layout like that one time. So let me know what you guys think. I hope the video helps. I have a ton of other achievement guides and tips and tricks for this game, so if you want to check those out later on, or if you just have a question, feel free to ask. I will do my absolute best to help you out. Best of luck to anyone who's still participating in the contest or just wants to do speed runs for the fun of it. They're not my cup of tea, so hats off to you guys that can do that. This thing has just given me an unbelievable migraine. But if you enjoyed the video, tap the like button. Of course, subscribe for more content. And until next time, stay frosty.